But like for example, on MADtv with sketch, I remember there was some when we would tape the live sketches on Friday night, and sometimes they would add brand new sketches day of, and I would have the script underneath the table, like in the scene.
Just
So it was just like a taste of, I'm sure, what SNL is like, because they go really, they're they change things moment to moment.
I know this fool. I know that show, and it's exciting to sit down with anybody from a show that I know. So I'm ready.
Yeah, awesome. Did you how far in are you?
I am exactly 2 episodes in. So
Oh man. Okay,
I know.
okay.
Look, if there's anything big going on with your character, you got to tell me now because I cannot handle it at all.
Well, I'm in 7 out of 10. I'm not in 2, 5, and 6, so I can't wait
Okay.
for you to get to the finale.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very funny show and it's very well built for streaming. I mean, quite I was thinking especially when I was watching the pilot, like had it not been for the advent of streaming, I don't think this show would exist. Like this show and Reservation Dogs, they're both amazing shows starring brown people about brown people, and they're funny and they make you think. And without streaming, they probably wouldn't even have made it to cable. So I'm glad that they both exist.
Yeah, shout out Hulu.
Shout out Hulu.
Yeah.
How was making this full? Was it? I mean, it seemed like it was around the LA neighborhoods, and it seems like it was pretty run and gun. The script is very funny, and everybody just seems natural on camera. So how was it for you?
Well, yeah. I mean, Chris Estrada and Frankie Quinones are both stand-ups. The showrunners had a show on Comedy Central called Corporate. They're also stand-ups. So that's why I think the show lends itself to such great writing. And the show is about it's based off of Chris's actual life. A lot of the jokes are taking straight from his stand-up, so that's why it feels so authentic. And a lot of the locations were shot in South Central and around LA. I think we did some in Highland Park, but we also did some on the CBS lot. So Maggie's apartment, Julio's house, those were stages. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Dream come true. I mean, we had Michael Imperioli for crying out loud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Did you grow up in that type of environment around anybody who came out of prison and trying to rehabilitate their lifestyles?
No, not in my family. I mean, I was born in Highland Park, grew up pretty broke, but we moved around a lot. So I also spent a lot of time in Orange County. And then I finished high school in Tucson, Arizona. So I'm the princess of the Southwest. But no, I know that there's one specific episode, uh dang, I don't remember what episode it is, but there's one episode that Frankie Quinones, I believe his character is based off of one of his cousins in real life. So there was a lot of inspiration taken from both Chris and Frankie's real life.
Oh, good. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. I think it's good to draw from real life, obviously, because it's the easiest thing to do. But to take from someone's real life and have to act through it. Did you have to did you were you able to put any input into Maggie at all? Because she seems like you seem pretty well lived into that character as far as I can see. Like she seems pretty fun and easygoing, especially if she steals a car.
Yeah, yeah, easy going. I mean, it's definitely an homage to like my 12-year-old emo self. I had a lot of input in the look of the character. Um, the character is based off of a variety of Chris's ex-girlfriends, but the guys were very collaborative in the fact where they did let me, I showed up to set with the red hair. um and they let me do the Betty Page bangs. I came in hot with my mood boards because in the initial audition test callback, Chris did mention that he's like, yeah, she's a real girl, but she might have listened to punk. She's kind of that vibe. I was like, okay, let's take that even further. So in that sense, it was pretty collaborative. And on set, like if I was able to change lines, and if I didn't feel like Maggie would say something this way,
Hmm.
I was able to change it.
What I want to go back to that to the audition process. Did it feel like you had this one in the bag ahead of time? Because sometimes people just they they're iffy about it, and they keep getting called back, and they go, I guess I got the job. But for you, did you seem like you were already in it by the time they called you back the first time?
Well, when I got, so I mean, we're still auditioning remotely, so it was just like any other self-tape during pilot season. But when I got the script, I do remember having that feeling of like, ooh, even if I don't get this, I know I'm gonna have a lot of fun prepping this because I don't think anyone else is gonna do it the way I'm gonna do it. And luckily it worked out. Um, so yeah, in some ways, yeah, I also had that feeling. I recently did a play at the Geffen, and I kind of had that feeling with that role as well, which doesn't happen often. That doesn't happen with every project. Every project, especially as you know, when you're still first starting out, you're like, oh God, is this gonna change my life? I really hope I get it. But on those sometimes when I'm like, even if I don't get this, I'm gonna have a great time preparing this. That's usually the ones I end up booking. So yeah, I think maybe I did think I had it in the bag.
That's good. And
Yeah.
speaking of your self tapes, I saw a lot of. I don't know if they were real self tapes, but the stuff on your Instagram, very funny. The character based stuff in front of the green
Oh,
sheet.
those are just characters that those were character bits that weren't used on Mad TV.
Mm.
Uh so I just posted them during quarantine just because I was like, the people need their content. So I released them. Yeah, so those were all characters that either I had pitched or had been working on that didn't make it onto Mad TV.
Mm. I still I grew up with Mad TV, and in fact, that was my trajectory for to get to SNL was to watch SNL rather. I'm not on SNL if you can tell. I'm not on it right now.
You're not?
And no, I'm not. You would notice an extra black person on there. I watched all that, and then I watched Mad TV, and then my sister introduced me to Mad TV like it's the adult all that, and then
Yeah.
I remember seeing SNL for the first time, and I went, "They're doing this live? It doesn't make sense. They need to do pre-tape stuff like on Mad TV." So,
Yeah.
but I'm glad to have a Mad TV person come and talk to me. It's that show. I'm glad it got a second chance. I know it was ill-fated, but it just it they tried. Everybody tried, and I live for sketch comedy anywhere essentially.
You know, you know, I'm not a fan of any reboot. Like, let's just focus on like original content and give
Hmm.
the little guy a shot. I feel like we were kind of doomed just because we were on the CW. Who's our audience? Like, what was even more frustrating about that was that there was no money for publicity. So we didn't even get a billboard. So even like the diehard Mad TV fans that are on like Reddit and on those like Mad TV Reddit threads, they didn't even know it was on.
Wow.
So I think we were kind of doomed from the beginning, but it was a dream come true. I also was like, when I was a kid, I would switch from Mad TV to SNL, all that. I was a huge fan. Amanda Bynes show, I was always
Mhm.
a fan of sketch. Then Mad TV got canceled. I was like, okay, I guess I'll try for SNL. Then the opportunity for Mad TV happened, and I was like, what? So that was like a dream. That was a resurrected dream that came to fruition. But yeah, I had a blast. I mean, that's one thing to check off the
Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. I mean, essentially, that's one of the most prominent sketch shows of the past, 20 years. It's 2022 of the past 30 years. That show, SNL, and then other shows that live in that same and live in color. I mean, so yeah, you got to do it. I wanted to touch on the was it King Liz? That's what you did at the Geffen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
how was that experience? I am fascinated by people doing plays, whether they be comedic or even like musicals or dramatic. Just how was that for you as somebody who is an actor, striding to be in that elevation of theater actor?
Yeah. No, I mean, it was a dream come true. I'd always wanted to do a show at the Geffen. I really wanted to do it because I wanted to see if I had that 8 show a week stamina. And I don't know if I do. I don't know if it was a musical. I don't know how I would. I probably wouldn't speak in between shows. That's how intense it is. Um, but it was. It, I mean, theater is so different from film. You're doing 20 takes of the same thing, and in a live show, you only got one shot.
Yeah.
So um yeah, no, I love both equally. And my original goal was Broadway after college, but there was no way I could afford to move to New York. So somehow I was like, oh, I'll just try to become a TV name and I'll go backwards as if that's easier. uh, so we're on the path. But yeah, it was amazing. King Liz, it's a contemporary play. It's more of a dramedy. I was the comedic relief, of course. And yeah, it was a blast.
The 8 shows a week, that is so crazy. Like, when, especially when somebody who is like Hugh Jackman, when Hugh Jackman says, I'm going to be doing Music Man for 4 months, I go, really? You don't want to do a movie for a month and a half and then
I
do
know.
that for like 3 days a week? That's insane. How long did you do King Liz for?
I think we were just like, I think it was like 2 months, maybe a month and a half. So it was like
Wow.
4 weeks, 4 week rehearsal process, and then like a month and a half of shows. Yeah. So yeah, very short run. And
Mhm.
even that was exhausting.
And what was the I don't know how you do your lines, so I'm going to call it memorization. So how
Yeah.
was that memorization like versus television? Like, yeah, and doing sketch, you gotta hit these exact spots every single night. Versus on TV, you hit that spot maybe 10 times for a one take or something, and
Right.
you get and so and how was that?
I mean, it depends on the type of director you have because some directors are open to a lot of improvisation and ad-libbing. The really cool, well, I guess it's both for theater and film. It's like no matter how many times you do it, theater once a night, film 50 takes in one day, you have to find a new nuanced and subtle way of giving that same line, that same dialogue, different life.
Mhm.
Um, what was great about doing the show is that I got to go on my character's journey linearly from beginning to end. And it's funny watching when I finally got to see this fool. I think my first day of set, the first thing that we shot was the hiking scene in episode 7 or 8. So
Okay.
Chris and I already had to have all this like built-in chemistry of being high school sweethearts. So that's, I guess, the challenge also is
Mhm.
shooting out of order with film.
I yeah
But the
I
but the memorization process is the same. Just
Okay.
I try to be memorized before rehearsal just so that like I can be in the moment and make new things happen. But yeah, it's the same.
When you were for King Liz, was it did you have a script for the 4 weeks of rehearsal like with you on hand as you all were walking through stage direction and everything?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you've got your script in hand the whole time through blocking. You're writing,
Mm.
you're blocking because the blocking is going to change once we're in the theater. But like for example, on MADtv with sketch, I remember there was some when we would tape the live sketches on Friday night, and sometimes they would add brand new sketches day of, and I would have the script underneath the table, like in the scene.
Just
So it was just like a taste of, I'm sure, what SNL is like because they're they change things moment to moment.
Yeah. I would love, I like the play finding the nuance in every different scene and every different take, even for something that's recorded.
Yeah.
I love that idea because I just saw The Weekend here in Atlanta, and prior to me going to the show, I looked at his set list for that night. Then looked
Yeah.
at the set list, a couple of days ago. I looked at the set list in the future. It's the same set list for every single city, and I
Yeah.
just think, yeah, I love those songs, but Jesus Christ, I can't like I couldn't be a singer and sing "Blinding Lights" for 46 nights in a row.
But the cool thing about that is that no matter, depending on what city he's in, he's gonna feed off of the audience's energy. So maybe Blinding Lights isn't like the favorite song. It's gonna like give it different energy into the next song. Yeah.
Yeah. That's very true. Do you sing at all? Do you have any singing prowess in you?
I do. I do. I've auditioned for a lot of, gotten close to a lot of movie musicals, so that's in the cards. Yeah.
Okay, that's
I
good.
I even came close a couple years back to being the Blues Clues host when they were looking for a new Blues Clues host. I don't really play guitar, but I
Mhm.
kind of faked my way and played like a Cat Power song for the audition. I was like,
Wow.
here's my alternative pop rock song, and then toss the guitar aside. Here's my musical theater song. I only know how to play that one Cat Power song.
That, hey, you know
Uh,
what? As like, imagine if the casting director was like a huge like NPR fan. Like, I love Cat Power. Like, oh my
yeah,
gosh.
play us another one. Uh,
I don't know
yeah.
about that. And I also saw on your IMDb, very, very prolific. It's the your all the voice acting you do. That's like you got to be able to have those pipes lubricated, ready to go at all points. Yeah, what is it? We Baby Bears. You've done a couple of Star Wars
Yeah.
games. That's sensational. I did you always I know Broadway was the, moving to New York, that was the idea, but uh your first voice acting gig, did that open up a whole different world for you?
I tried getting a voiceover agent really early on. I thought that being bilingual would automatically like get me rep. Like I was like, I'm down to do Old Navy in Espanol, like all those commercial, like radio commercials. But it was really hard to break in. I didn't get an agent until after MADtv.
Hmm.
I'd always wanted to do animation since I was a kid. I had fabricated this idea in my mind that I would be the first Latina Disney princess. Luckily, we have one.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I'd always wanted to do animation. And the great thing about animation is you go into the booth and you may not necessarily have a scene partner with you. So you're creating the world, fabricating that imagination in this like dark booth all by yourself. It's like a different high.
Yeah, you have the energy to do so, based on the things I've seen, that you have the energy in order to even play off yourself, or even play off
Yeah.
the director reading something to you. I think that's a very good skill to have, and it's you got a good voice. So I'm telling you, keep it up, kid. You're going
Thanks,
places.
man. Thanks, man. Well, also what's really nerve-wracking and hard is like with the Star Wars stuff, sometimes they don't send you the script till the day of.
Hmm.
So you're looking at it in the booth for like maybe the second time. And the director, is just giving you notes, direction, guidance. But that's some of the most difficult voiceover work I've done since I've started.
Wow. And
Yeah.
how soon from recording to it being put in the game? Like, were you late in development of that game?
Yes, but I do have the visual on a screen. But so they've already worked on the graphics and stuff. But from the time I recorded to it coming out, it was probably like a year.
Hmm.
Yeah. Animation takes a while. Or video game. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Animation takes a while as well.
Yeah. Mhm.
I right now I work for the company that makes We Baby Bears,
Oh,
and
no way.
yeah, we've been talking about it since I was hired. We've been talking about it for as
Oh my
long as I
God.
remember. Right.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. But it's that has nothing to do with this. I do on this side. I just want to get that across to David Zaslav if he's listening. I know he is. Um, please don't pull me off HBO Max.
Uh-oh.
Uh, what is the voiceover thing? The first Latina princess, that'd be a fantastic feat in film form. I know we have one in television form. What who was any voice actresses, or any voice actors, excuse me, any voice actors that you look up to in terms of how they do their work? Because I think Tom Kenny's a fantastic voice guy.
He's amazing. He's amazing. You know what? I didn't really educate myself with voice actors until I started doing it. So like Tara Strong is unbeatable.
Hmm.
She can do anything, and no wonder she gets hired so much because she can switch. She had the control she has over her voice is unreal.
Yeah,
Like from Tommy Pickles to Bubbles to I think she's what is she? She's not Batgirl,
Harley
Supergirl,
Quinn.
Batgirl, Harley Quinn. Oh my God, yeah. I mean, she's the one to look up to.
Yeah, that's she's definitely somebody I think anyone could aspire to. I watch a lot of animation, and I think that once you get to a point where I can like see you in the booth as you're voicing, like I can be lost in the character, but I can also see you in the booth. I think that's like you made it up there. That's it's when your voice is like cannot be separated from your body, that's great. That's so fantastic to see.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I
an
think
interesting way of saying it. Okay.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, just the next time you see something that Tara is in, for instance, just close your eyes and then you can like, or if you've ever seen her in the booth, like do the job, then
Yeah.
it's mind altering. It's crazy. I love that type of stuff. So would you ever want to get back into doing plays, since the TV stuff is popping off?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the goal is still it's still Broadway,
Mhm.
100%. I just I guess my background I was started singing classical opera in high school and I like studied it in college. So I don't know, I just always thought I was going to be this big serious dramatic actress that I don't know, did more classical performing arts. But I want to do it all. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's good. It's good to be open and have an open mind about this stuff. I mean, that's what will open up your career to pretty much any opportunity. And also you have to think it's whatever you feel comfortable in. You
Yeah.
don't have to force yourself to take a role that you don't think you're right for. That's why, it's I didn't see King Liz, but if you were as confident as you were in this fool, then hell yeah, the sky's the limit for you.
You know what though? Now that you bring that up, I feel like I tend to do things that make me super uncomfortable, borderline humiliating, because I had never done sketch before I did MADtv. It was just something that I thought you should try to have, like, I thought as an actor you should try to have impressions and
Uh-huh.
characters and you should want to be able to do all genres. So I've just always tried to be prepared for everything.
Hmm. Matt, oh my gosh. Hearing that you've never done sketch prior to that, that's
Yeah.
I watched that show live. I saw every single episode. So and not I can't say I remember anything. No, no offense to you guys and your work. I will have to go back and watch because I want to see how how you've done now that I know something like that.
Yeah, you just got to commit 100%. I mean, growing up, I was so inspired by Alex Borstein, Deborah Wilson, Nicole Sullivan, Nicole Parker, Mo Collins, and they just commit all the way. They
Mhm.
truly, that's why I feel like when people ask about like what's the difference between comedy and drama, I don't think there's much of a difference. You just got to commit.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
be even if it's a 5-minute sketch, that character is you from that point forward. For that show, that was you met I think Will Sasso and Nicole Parker were a part of it, right? Okay.
Yes, Will Sasso, Nicole Parker came back,
Okay.
Deborah Wilson, Ari Spears, Alex Borstein, Bobby Lee. Yeah, not everybody came back. A couple. Yeah, they would come and guest star.
Wow. And how was meeting them? Was it did it live up to your expectations?
I mean, yeah, my first
Yeah.
my first live sketch was with Nicole Sullivan and Will Sasso. I like couldn't believe it. But in some ways, I kind of feel like that's what was Mad TV's season 15 reboot downfall, was that if you're a Mad TV fan, you watch the show, you have the greats coming on to guest star. I want to watch the greats. I don't want to watch these new scrubs. So I feel like that also was a reason that we didn't do so well.
Yeah. I think that was also the time period with Vine and Will Sasso was doing those lemon vines, if you remember that.
I mean, I remember Vine. I don't remember. Will's pretty funny on Instagram too.
Yeah.
I didn't follow Will's
He
Vines.
I remember this specifically. He would like put water in his mouth and then like have a lemon in there, and then he would spit the lemon out and water would come out. And that was the entire vine. And that was
Did you see during quarantine he would go on Instagram Live and just clap to a random song, and then he would have somebody random join in, and then they would just clap to whatever song he was playing for like 5 minutes, and then he would just switch to the next person. It was hilarious.
I love that. I love that. That's I mean, it goes back to your Instagram with you posting those now that I know what they are, the Mad TV
Uh,
characters. That's
uh,
everybody should be able to just make things. Every creative person makes something, put it out there. If it wins, it wins. If it fails, it fails. I love that idea so much. That's so funny.
yeah,
Do
yeah, it was amazing.
you have anything else in store for the rest of the year?
I do. I have two projects that I'm really excited about, but I can't talk about them because they haven't been announced. So I'm
Okay.
just gonna hold those little secrets to myself until I can. But
Yeah.
yes, there's some stuff in the works.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I look, I love seeing people work. I love seeing people who are good at what they do work. So we'll have to keep an eye out. That's fantastic, Michelle. This has been so engaging and so fun. I can't believe I got to talk with somebody who was on Mad TV.
Ah, thanks, man. It's really nice meeting you. Thank you for having me.